As I get older and I look back on my life, and I think of how things used to be, I look at where I am now in this present moment, and there's things that we forget about, the small things in life that we might take for granted, things we don't realize that matter to us so much that we just never really think about them. When I was younger, when it was a time when I didn't have the responsibilities of working a full-time job and bills and insurance and everything else that's involved with that, even though my life was difficult, I still had what felt like that sense of creativity, that interest in the things that are in the world around me, of not knowing something, exploring, finding out new things. And then as we get older, we start to lose that. We lose that sense of enjoyment in discovering. We lose that sense of creativity. And I think in some ways a lot of that comes to where we start living our lives in accordance to what other people want, and not knowing what we want, not being in the present moment, thinking back about these times when we were younger, and just thinking about how we used to want certain things out of life. We used to have these certain goals when we were much younger that we always wanted to do, and then we just suddenly lost that passion. You don't know what happens to it. You don't know where it went. And we get caught up in everything else that's happening in life, and we lose that. And to keep myself from losing it, drawing has always been there to express myself creatively, to spend time to just sit down, to think about life, to think about things, to think about my choices and where I'm going with my life. And with the time that I spend drawing, which is many hours per day, I think about how my life was growing up, how things have changed since then, the improvements that I've made, maybe some choices that I made that weren't good. But either way you look at it, there isn't always a bad choice, because things can always turn out in a way that you didn't expect, by going down a path that you might have later regretted, but then realized that that was the path that you were meant to go down. That was the direction in life that you just happened to be at. And we try to connect all of these things and make sense of what's happening. But in that present moment, when I was younger, and this was almost 20 years ago, so it was quite a while ago, I remember just sitting at my computer, and the only thing that I was really worried about was just being creative, just drawing. I would sit there and draw, or I would sit down and I would play some video games on my computer. And I remember a game that I played consistently all the time, and that game was RuneScape. I played it so many hours, and I would go online with some of the other friends I had from school. We would play the game together and talk about some random things and make some jokes, and everything was great. We got older. We all went our separate ways in life, and I have never heard from any of them ever since. But I'm happy for the moments that I did have, and the good times that I did have, even if things were difficult. And just, sitting there having fun, and just being focused on that one thing that was enjoyable, and not letting the negativity of everything else influence my thoughts or make me feel as if I'm not a good person or think that I'm not going to be anything. Because who you are as a person comes down to really what you think of yourself. And if you're making good choices in life and you're going down the path that you want and you're happy with who you are, go by that. If people tell you that negative things constantly, you can stand in that adversity and see the things you've overcome. And when I would just sit there and play video games, just draw, I was just in the moment. I was just focused on that. And then as I got older, things happened, and I started worrying about this or something else stressful that happened in life, and it started distracting me from doing the things that I really loved doing, the things that meant a lot to me. And so I've just kept focused on doing the things that I found important. And as I've gotten older, I've realized the things that matter to me. All this external stuff that happens around you, people tend to overvalue that, rather than valuing and understanding who they are and knowing who they are from their own perspective, rather than going by the perspective of what everybody has told them, and to just be happy with who you are. It's these little moments and times that we think back on things that there's just something about it, and sometimes I don't really have the words to explain it, and I'll try to express that in some of my drawings, but it's some of these small moments that we think back on and realize to be how happy we are to have what we have. But thank you for watching. Have fun drawing. Don't forget to give us a like, share, and subscribe. You have a good day, and I will see you in the next video. See you all later.